This week on LatterDay News.
God sent crew. I believe in God and I know it's of God. And this crew here taking other trees that's down in the yard, and God knows I appreciate that.
Take a look behind the scenes of the rapid response of Helping Hands and breaking out of the virtual boxes, the BYU singers meet in person. Finally, pumpkins with familiar faces. But first, the headlines.
I shudder to think what would have happened if I'd continued down that course. Our lives would have been very different.
Elder Renlund tells us how he listens to the Spirit in the latest video episode of the Hear Him series.
And I find that as I draw closer to Him, I have an ever-increasing desire to be like Him. And the more I am trying to become like Him, I think it is easier for Him to communicate with me.
Sister Corden issues the final challenge as the young women face-to-face nears this November.
Our final invitation is based on President Nelson's counsel to learn to hear the voice of the Lord.
I really hear him when I journal.
Når jeg går I skogen, føler jeg meg nær til ham.
When I'm reading my scriptures and I feel his love.
Listen min på Spotify med mine favorittkirkesanger.
Eu ouço a voz do Senhor quando eu jejuo.
Quando vado al tempio, quando ascolto le conferenze generali.
Like these young women, we invite you to share how you hear his voice. Post your response on social media using #StriveToBe. We're excited to see you on November 15th for the face-to-face event as we celebrate together the 150 years of the Young Women Organization.
Elder Gong turned to social media to announce that he and his wife had successfully completed quarantine. He thanked all those that had prayed for he and his wife. He said he was excited to get back to work and recently addressed BYU Idaho for their devotional live from Salt Lake City.
I am standing on Temple Square. The scene behind me looks much different than it did just 1 year ago. Extensive renovations are being made to the Salt Lake Temple to shore up the foundation. It is time-consuming, it is expensive, and it is messy.
Sister Craig of the Young Women Presidency addressed BYU-Pathway worldwide in front of the Salt Lake City renovation project.
If temples, chapels, and homes are dedicated as holy places, and if I want my life to be holy, then I must dedicate my life to that purpose. Holiness to the Lord. These words carved into this temple and every temple are words that I want carved into my heart.
It's just a godsend. A coalition of Jesus' followers. I'm Catholic and I have Mormons and Baptists helping me clean my yard.
Have you ever wondered how the Yellow T-shirt Battalion assembles and executes service so quickly? Here is a quick peek at a recent operation.
As a command center staff, we start showing up at least Friday by noon. You guys are making calls, right? We coordinate with the Bishop's Storehouse for the truck to arrive so that the supplies can be unloaded and staged properly.
Are these tucked over there?
We've learned that the full-time missionaries is a great resource. This disaster has allowed them to get into the community, but also feel like they can give service.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to help you.
Okay, so I'm going to give you this one.
Once the volunteers start arriving,
Two young men.
the engine that you've built, so to speak, we anticipate the fuel coming, and the workers is that fuel. They start coming, and boy, they're just happy to be there.
I recognize you. How are you?
The command center takes in all the work orders sent in and prioritizes them so that they can make the greatest impact.
This tree right here is the one that fell on my house, and I was in the bedroom when it fell. And I called for help, and they came and helped me today, which was such a blessing.
We're well known now after disasters. They know that the Latter-day Saints will come.
And finally, one woman lets her light shine with a President Nelson custom jack-o'-lantern. Pastry chef Haley Henson actually grew up in the same ward as President Nelson and also carved a pumpkin with President Monson's face. And that's the headlines. This week in Temple Updates, on October 26th, 151 temples will enter Phase 1 and 122 temples will enter Phase 2. This means only 9 temples are still closed due to COVID-19. The Winnipeg, Manitoba temple lights up the night sky. The temple, finished and complete with landscaping, was to have its open house this week. Due to COVID, it is still on hold for public gatherings. And finally, the Richmond, Virginia temple starts to take shape as the steel structure rises from the ground. And now, Latter-day News ends with something we haven't seen in a long time, a choir that isn't previously recorded. Bravely, early this October, with masks and temp checks, the BYU singers meet to make beautiful music and praise God. Come back every Friday for more Latter-day News.